Hey guys, what's up? So you can see this is our topology. Okay, so now we configure BGP protocol. Okay, so first of all, you can see I can take 2PC router 1 and 2PC router 2. Okay, I mean I can take total 4PC and router 1 and router 2. You can see two router and two switch. Okay, and I can loop back here our loopback ID and mask. You can see router 2 loopback ID and mask and our remote S number. Okay, and this is our default gateway, and this is our default gateway and our PC IP address. Okay, so now we configure BGP protocol. Okay, so first of all we assign our IP address. Okay, so let's go. First of all, we can PC1 IP address assign, okay, 192.168.1.2 and our subnet mask and our default gateway. So you can check now. So you see our IP address assign successful, and then go to our PC2 and our IP address assign 1.3 and our subnet mask and our default gateway. Okay, then go to our PC3 and IP address assign. This is 2.2, okay, and our default gateway 2.1. So you can see configure successful. So go to PC4 IP 192.168, okay, 2.3 and our subnet mask and our default gateway, okay, 2.1. So you can see our PC IP assign successful, okay. Then I go to router 1, I mean R1 and configuration router 1, okay. Then enable config terminal interface our fast Ethernet 0/0 IP address 192.168.1.1 and our subnet mask, okay. Then no shutdown. Then we go to router IP address interface fast Ethernet 1/0 our IP address 172.16.1.1 and our subnet mask. Then no shutdown, okay. And now I can check our IP address successfully configured. Why okay or not? So show IP interface brief. You can see our IP address successfully configured, okay. So don't worry. Now we go to router 2 and our IP address assign, okay. Enable config terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/0 our local IP address, okay. I mean gateway 2.1 and our subnet mask and no shutdown. Then we go to interface router IP, okay. Fast Ethernet 1/0 and our IP address 172.16.1.2 and our default gateway. Then no shutdown, okay. So Control Z press we can exit and we can check now. Show IP interface brief. You can see our IP configuration successful, okay. So now we can check our PC1 to PC2 and PC3 to PC4 ping test, okay. So I can go to PC1 and I can as put here IP address PC2, okay. So you can see our pinging successful, okay. Now I go to PC2 and ping 192.168.2.3. Sorry, I go to PC3. Unfortunately, I go to PC2. Sorry for that. So I can now ping 192.168.2.3. Okay. So you see our PC configuration successfully. Okay. So now I check our router. So go to router 1, then ping router 2 IP address 72.16, okay, 1.2. Yeah, you can see our ping successfully. Okay, so our router and PC configuration is totally successful and working. So now I go to loopback. This is R1. So go to loopback configuration. Okay, enable configure terminal interface loopback 0 here, and our loopback IP address 10.10.10.10. Okay, and subnet mask and no shutdown. Then we control Z press and right here show running configuration. So you can enter. You can see our interface loopback. Okay, interface loopback totally success. So now we go to R2, I mean router 2, then enable config terminal. Now interface loopback 0, our loopback IP address 20.20.20.20 255.0.0.0. Okay, now no shutdown. Then I control Z. Now we can exit and check now. So running config. Okay, you can see our interface loopback totally successful configuration. Okay, so now we can go to R1 and start our BGP protocol configuration. Okay, so first of all we enable config terminal. You can write a router BGP. Okay, router BGP. So our router BGP ID is 61001. Okay, 61001. So I can write here 61001, our router BGP number. Okay, then I write neighbors. Okay, neighbor our second. I mean this address. Okay, this address 172 and 16.1.2. Okay, and you can write remote as this number. Okay, 61002. Then enter. Then we can write network. Which network? This side network, I mean R1 network. First of all our R1 network. Okay, our R1 PC network 192.168.1.0. Okay, and you can write here mask and our subnet mask you can put here. Then enter. Then you can write here network, and you can our loopback network. Okay, 10.0.0.0, and our mask 255.0.0.0. Then we can know synchronization. Okay, then we can exit. So R1 configuration successful. Okay, then we go to R2, enable. Okay, config terminal router BGP. Router BGP, our IP address 61002. I mean router BGP address number. Okay, router BGP number, and you can next step writing our R1 IP address 172.16 8.1.1. Okay, and you can remote S61001. Okay, then you can write here network, our R2 network 192.168.2.0, and mask 00 mask 255.255.255.0. Then we can write network, and our loopback network we can write here 20.0.0.0, and our mask 255.0.0.0. Okay, then we can write here no synchronization. Then we now exit. Okay, so now I check. Okay, so first of all I go to router 1, and now I check control Z, we can now exit, and now I can check show route. First of all we can check show route, so show BGP. Okay, you can check show BGP, so you can see our BGP configuration successful. Okay, then we can go to router 2, and we can write here show BGP. So you can see our BGP is totally successful. Okay, then now we can check show running configuration. So you can see our you can enter. So you can see our router BGP. Okay, our router BGP successfully configuration. So in this video I configure to my router. Okay, so like and subscribe. Thank you so much.